Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another JK Deal Reveal. Hope you're having an excellent week. I hope you're in the new year's, new motivation, new stretch, new deals, just like our special guest speakers, Brad and Ange, who will be on this evening for our deal reveal. Ange and Brad are members of the Now for Tomorrow Club, the JK community, and they have their first deal lined up. And we figured we'd show you all that it can be done. And so that's what we're going to do this evening. We're going to reveal a deal from the community. And I got all these beautiful slides here. Brad, why don't you, while we're working this out, make sure that you can turn on your camera and your audio. Let's just make sure that technology is working while I'm getting ready here. How are we doing?
So we can't turn on our video. It says the host has it turned off.
Oh, mean me. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see if I can do something about that. Apologies, everyone. There we go. I have to make you co-host. Aha. Try now. There we go. Hey, Ange, Brad, how are we doing?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. And so, whoops, I wasn't supposed to show that. We're getting excited today because we have a deal, or so we think. Remember, the point of this deal reveal is to showcase deals from the community, and it's also to give the thumbs up or the thumbs down on properties that we are considering to buy. And so everyone on the call today, feel free to chime in at any point because we are going to Toledo, is that right?
Yes.
Yes. And we're going to look at a triplex that you have under contract, right?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. And we're excited about that.
Yes, we're super excited.
Woo, excellent. So let's keep it brief, but let's try to give as much value as we can to the community, specifically like the process, like the biggest golden nuggets. Tell us about this deal, how it came about, and how did the due diligence work? How are the numbers? Wherever you want to take this, whatever best value that you want to give the community, feel free to go. Enough for them to say, hey, this is a deal or this is not a deal. How's that sound?
Yeah, perfect. So I think when we got started with this journey, I was trying to find the perfect home, like the home that looked amazing, that was turnkey, something that I personally would want to stay in. And I found, maybe Brad can agree as well, that we've, through our coaching calls with you, Kyle, and on our own terms, we've worked through a lot of the emotional aspect, the mindset stuff. And when we found this property, it seemed really amazing because we were able to clear all that stuff out and just look at the numbers, look at the location, and look at the facts of the property, which it turned out to be really great. So we have an amazing real estate agent that we're working with who's been holding our hand every step of the way. So that's helped build confidence in our ability as well moving forward. And yeah, so we went and saw, actually we jumped on this one. I don't think we saw it before we bought it, before we put a contract on it. We put some deals on other offers on other properties, and we kept getting beat out or by cash offers or whatever. So this one, we saw it, we immediately liked it, and we had our agent put an offer on that day. And then the next day he actually took us through the property, which was kind of how we weren't doing the deals before, but we wanted to jump on it and take this opportunity. And then so far it's worked out great. Had the inspection done already. That was fairly easy. Now we're in the position where we're getting lending for the first time. So figuring out all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so far the process has been fairly easy, fairly go with the flow, which has been great.
I love it. So quick recap, you identified a deal, you analyzed it very quick, or did you spend like a week analyzing this deal?
I feel like we're at the point now, through like your mentorship and stuff where we can literally look at a property and within like a couple minutes be like, oh, it's a good one or not a good one. Let's move forward with this. Let's not move forward with this. So we did it fairly quickly.
I love it. And you were with a realtor, it's on market, and that doesn't mean you can't find deals on market. I mean, we'll size this one up in just a minute, but you moved super quickly, got in an offer, the offer was accepted, and then you went to go check it out, inspector, walk through, then inspector, and so forth and so forth. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to do this business remotely, you have to quickly seize the opportunity, identify, and then seize the opportunities, and then trust, verify, adapt. And that's exactly what's happening. Brad, what would you say your biggest takeaways of this process or this deal? What do you want to bring to the table?
Just like it was just we got beat out by so many other properties. Like we were looking and just him and on, and I was looking at one aspect. I look at the numbers because I'm a numbers guy, so that's what I looked at. But my wife, on the other hand, was more like, it's got to look beautiful and pretty, and just she wants to feel like she'd want to live in it, and I totally understand that. I mean, we're from Canada and we do properties here, but I mean, the last few years we can't because properties are just too expensive. But we did the same thing there. We made it look beautiful and then rented it out. So that's just where we're at. So that, I mean, part of the biggest downfall, I think, was when we had to come together. We had to take, either side, and then, but at the same time, we help each other out when each other needs something else from other. So I think the biggest downfall or the biggest thing of this is coming together as a team.
I love it. A unified common vision is important. So is this more of a property you'd live in or more just the numbers? Where did we fall on this? Did you both kind of meet in the middle, or is it leaning on one side versus the other?
I feel like it was both in the middle. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not maybe she wouldn't live there, but at the same time, if maybe if she was single, she would have to or whatever. But it's a nice unit. They're nice units. They've been redone. So there's that part of it, that aspect. I think more or less she was focusing on to do short-term rentals. But those properties just weren't coming up at the same that we wanted or were looking at. And when they did come up, like we found a beautiful one, but then there was 6 offers on it. So it was like we got beat out by a cash offer, which is what it is. And I think they went above asking actually. So we didn't see the deal there anyway. So
Exactly.
I honestly think when I saw this property, I was just so frustrated with getting beat out from every other one, and it was turnkey and the numbers made sense. So I just totally put that aside and was like, let's just do it. Like, let's not do this on an emotional level. Let's just follow the numbers. And then once I saw how much rent we could make, once Brad shared that with me, it was like, okay, this is a no-brainer for us for our first purchase.
I love it. And you just mentioned turnkey right there. This is a triplex for $105,000 turnkey. Now, is it really turnkey? Is that what they advertised, or after the inspection, it basically really was turnkey? Maybe tell us a little bit about that.
So there was definitely no red flags through the inspection. There's nothing that was major, but there is some work that needs to be done for how we would like the property. I mean, someone could totally live in it right now with just a couple things, like, attaching the gas stove and, the obvious things. But we actually went back and asked for 5,000 off. So we're actually getting it at 97,900 because we can actually, we know someone who can do the work for us. So we're actually getting a better deal than we originally thought we'd be paying.
I love it. And so super, super important. Here's a golden nugget. If everybody's thinking, should I get the property inspected or not? The answer is always
yes.
Okay. Because for sure, you're going to find $500 worth of credits to go get anyways. In your specific example, it was a turnkey, recently renovated. It is a beautiful property for that price point, right? And you got $5,000 credit.
Yes.
Out of a 500 inspection. And now you can rest assured, confident that you're going to hold this property probably for 10, 20, 30, who knows how long, right? This is not an in and
Totally.
out where you don't have to worry like after it's off your hand. It's in your hands for the long term. You want to know what's happening with
Yeah.
with this building.
And I think too, like when it came to the price of the inspection, it was great because I don't fit like termites, right? Like they look for all that kind of stuff and all the things that we might not have seen to the blind eye, right? So
Mhm.
like that's all free and clear. So I feel confident with that.
And I feel like if I was there, I probably wouldn't have got it done because I would notice this stuff. Like I'm a contractor by trade, pretty much. So like all that stuff, I would go in and see, and I would find on my own. But
Mm.
because I'm not there,
It
and
was worth the money.
it was worth the money.
And had you walked, would you have gotten a 5,000 credit? Do you think? And this is an honest question. I don't know. Would you have gone back, or would you have said like, we can handle this, and or would you have gone with the 5,000 credit?
I definitely think the layout of the inspection we had was super detailed, and there was a summary list at the end of the report. So when I went back to our agent and spoke with him and he said, well, what do you want to put on this? We just decided to put that whole summary sheet.
Yep.
So there was no shortness of what needed to be corrected. And then I immediately, they were like, okay, we'll do the $5,000 if you want to fix it yourself.
There's a weight, there's a posture, there's a credibility and authority. That's the word I was looking for. Behind this inspection report.
Mhm.
That holds weight in a negotiation. So absolutely, yes. And you could write it just as long, but then you're going to walk the property. You're going to go to the property. You're going to walk it. You're going to spend gas. You're going to spend at least an hour at the property. You're going to come back. Then you're going to rewrite that email. Like this whole inspection process would take 4 or 5 hours of your time, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I don't feel
arguable
like
to
I would
say
have
if
got the
it's worth it.
$5,000 off if I would have done it myself.
Mhm.
Because I would just be going with my words, which they're just like, oh, this is just somebody trying to get a better deal. So by having the third party with their stuff, I mean, I think they would be more credible to take it. Like, oh, this is coming from a third party, not just the guy walking in thinking, this is wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong.
You got
So-
it, 100%. I love it. So huge nuggets taking out of this deal right now for everybody on the call, including yourselves. Sell us the deal a little bit. So triplex 105,000. Is that all we need to know to say that this is a deal, or is there more that we need to know before we give the thumbs up?
Well, I always look at location. So for me, I feel comfortable that the location was safe enough that an individual could live there and still go out at nighttime and all those kinds of things. It's not within a really high-end area, but it's not too far from it. So that's what we really liked. There's lots of parking, which is a big thing. It is turnkey inside, so newly painted, new carpet, new things. I think upstairs is a double unit with one bathroom, so that's a selling feature. I don't know, what else do you think? Rents I think are good. 2,000 approximately a month would be great.
Yeah, there's a church right next door. So it's not like you have another tenant next door, it's an actual church.
That's what's
Beautiful.
coming to mind
So,
I
to
love it.
sell this place.
I wonder. I love it. I love it. So 2,000 to rent for under 100,000 purchase. Is that satisfying the 1% rule?
that's the 2% rule.
2%.
2%, right? Where in Canada we struggle sometimes to hit the 1% rule. Here we go in and we have a 2%, like double the minimum criteria on most what most people consider the minimum investing criteria of 1%. So amazing stuff. So we got cash flow. What about market value? Do we know what this property is worth on the market? You're getting it for 95, 98, but what's it worth?
Yeah, basically we looked at all the different figures through the internet and everything came back, or I would say basically around 105.
It's worth about 105.
So which was originally what they were asking.
Mhm.
But yeah, we focused on, we didn't go originally when we put our first offer on it, the seller came back saying that there was another offer on it. So then we moved up our offer a little bit just because we were sick of being beat out, and I think we could have gone to the 105 and still been a good deal, like overall with our numbers. So we went, I think 102.9 and they accepted. So
Yeah, and so buy at a discount. It's not 30% discount, but this is turnkey on market. All right. Try to get a 20% discount turnkey on market. You're gonna have to put a lot of offers before you get you manage to find that hidden gem. So, but you are buying at a discount and you are buying cash flow, are two golden rules in a good location, and you've done your due diligence on the neighborhood and so forth. So, ladies and gentlemen, is this a deal or no deal for you? That's text yes
Number us.
to, yeah, exactly. So people are going to comment and chime in just a minute here, but overall, I think this is looking pretty good, a very solid long-term investments. And another thing that you didn't mention is there's 2,000 a month coming in right now, right, for rents?
No, there will be,
There
like,
will
that's
be.
the market rents.
That's the
Yeah,
market.
that was taking it at like a, like
Conservative.
yeah, conservative number, like we didn't go to the above number or the real low number, we just kind of stuck it in the middle, which I feel like we could do better than that, but that's where we're taking our numbers because we want to be, conservative.
So right now it's vacant.
Yes.
It was just renovated. And it was left vacant on purpose to facilitate showings and to also allow the next buyer to vet their own tenants and so on. So speaking of vetting your own tenants, is that something that you're doing next? Are you going to go down there and take applications?
So no. So we're definitely gonna have a property management company help us out. Even though there's an expense for that, I think it's super easy. If tenants need something or the vetting process, that someone's there, they can do it. They're close to the property. And we do all of that here for our properties, and it is becoming a lot of work.
Mhm.
We're happy to do it, but it does take up a lot of Brad's time. So we are happy to kind of have more of a hands-off approach and just checking in with the property management company and having a good relationship with them, and then having it function that way. So even if we're on vacation, this property can still function. And if tenants need something, they have like their right-hand company there to be able to help.
I love it. I love it. Kim in the chat just yelled to us deal. So I love that. Talking about this management. So how excited are you to have this scalability built into your investment model? Because you're investing at a 2% rule. This is well over a 10 cap with your conservative numbers. There is enough cash flow to pay for management. And so that's not taking extra time out of your day-to-day to manage this thing. So you can focus on what? The next deal, the next property in the portfolio. And you can keep growing that without burdening yourself more and more on every acquisition that you have. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important do you feel that is in your investment strategy now?
An 8 definitely came to mind. I'm not sure why, but I definitely know there's like a lot of importance on having the maintenance company for us. If I'm being completely transparent, I do have trust issues. So trying to find that the best company that we can create a relationship with where we trust them and totally feel like they're holding us and holding our properties into the best value
Mhm.
is going to be something that I do look forward to finding. But I do think it's super important because I'm finding that it does require a lot of work in certain stages of buying a home, like getting the lending and all the paperwork I've had to pull together and submit and all of these things, right? And coordinate certain things. So I want to be able to have that time to be able to move on to the next deal.
100%, 100%.
And going back to like her saying that stuff, it's like, I think the first time it's a lot more work. Like when we put our first offer in, it was a ton of work just to put an offer in. But now we're on our, like, I don't know, 6th or 7th offer. And it's just like, she's like, this is easy now. Like, I know all the things, just boop, boop, boop. I don't have to read anything because I know pretty much everything, and click, 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 done. And so like this part, as much as it's hard now, I think the further we go on in this venture, the easier it's just going to get.
100%. You're training, right? You're building your muscles, these US remote investing muscle, and every step of the way is becoming easier and easier as you go. So congratulations. Does anybody who's listening in right now, is Sandra, would you recommend your realtor? And Sandra says it's a deal. So it sounds like you definitely would recommend that realtor. You
Yeah,
found
I
an
totally
excellent one.
would. 100% I would.
And the first realtor or realtors you approached, they're no longer working with you. So maybe as a last value point to this discussion, maybe how can somebody find a realtor that they can work with and get results with doing this business remotely?
Yeah, so we originally had a 4-property deal that we had put an offer on. And when we went to the States to check them out, they required just way too much work for what we could have done. And we just used dual representation with that realtor. We liked him. I felt comfortable with him. Then when we saw him in person, we kind of cultivated that a bit more, and we decided that we had a conversation with him and we wanted to continue working with him. And he was great, respectful, amazing, but he got a little busy and couldn't, how do I say that? Like he couldn't keep up with our timelines of when we wanted the information. So I don't mean I wanted it that minute, but it was taking 3 days to get back to us. And we realized that we couldn't necessarily wait 3 days to put an offer on a property or to go see a property. So one of the times we looked at a property, he had this other agent with him. And then at this point, he had transferred us over to this other agent, and it's amazing. The guy is younger. He's I don't know. It's just amazing. I don't know how to describe him, right? Like he's right there every step of the way. He's a go-getter. He's an investor himself, so he understands. He's not afraid to put in a lower offer to kind of make the people be like, kind of think about it for a minute and maybe reject the first one and then come back to the table. So I feel like he just gets it. So luckily, we just put out there that I wanted an agent that would, really work well with us, and it came.
I love it. Brad, you agree with everything?
Yeah, he's actually a police officer and he's on maternity leave. So he's doing this too. He wants to get more into this thing. So the kind of the cool things was he's like, I mean, I've policed all of Toledo. So he goes, I know the ins and outs of the good areas, the bad areas, so he goes like, he's always like, this is a good area. Like, so
Local knowledge, right? You get
Yeah.
it from your property inspector, your property manager. That's obviously very important in the due diligence process. And sometimes you pick up people along the way like that, and you hold on tight because they were valuable on this deal, but they're going to be valuable on the next one as well.
exactly.
I love it. I love it. And interesting, we actually didn't show any pictures. You mind if I just show the pictures that are online for
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
property?
Yeah,
Sure.
go ahead.
Because they are nice. I mean, this is it, right?
There it is.
There it is, right? Here's our triplex right here. And there. Definitely nice and clean. Did he come furnished a little bit, or these are older pictures?
Upstairs apartment comes furnished.
Ah, look at that. More savings, built-in financing for the furniture. I love it. So
Yes,
like you said,
we might try to rent one of the units furnished, so then we might get more value out of that. So
does it have a separate entrance? This back unit has a individual separate entrance that not shared with the others?
Yeah, so this is the upstairs unit, and it has a separate entrance going into the front and out the back. So 2 exits, and then the bottom ones each have 1 door. One's at the front, one's at the back. So they all have their own separate.
Have you considered just slapping this on Airbnb and seeing what happens, even for a short term?
We have considered that. I mean, when I'm looking for Airbnb, I'm really looking for a more higher end place. And I found that this place might be a little small. If it was for one person, I think it would be great. It's definitely clean enough. I think the area is okay. Yeah, we're just not sure.
yeah, there's a lot of pros and cons when you have other units involved too. Like, neighbor down below, we could be a little noisy, so then you're gonna get a bad review. The parking's at the back, it's not at the front of the house, so there's, but I mean, it's something we could always consider and see what happens too, so.
It has crossed my mind. I'm very eager to do a short-term rental.
And it could be your crash pad while you're Well,
Yeah.
you go to Toledo, like if you have one short-term rental in your portfolio, you don't need to book hotels or anything when you go there. You just block the calendar and you stay there while you're doing your business.
Mhm.
And yeah, who knows? Or while you're doing showings for long-term tenants, maybe you're getting bookings for short-term along the way, right? Just additional
Mhm.
income in the interim as well. A ton of opportunities. So congratulations, Ange and Brad. This is a good
Thanks.
one. Tina in the chat says, great deal, love it, congrats. I love it. And Sandra, I think
I would love to
may
thank Tina for her,
Trina.
Trina for her help. She was the one that actually pushed me to go to Toledo, so. She's
Trina,
like,
yes,
why are you
Trina.
not Toledo? It's so much closer to where you live.
It is. So a shout out for Trina as well. Tina and Trina, yes, two very active members of our community here today. Cassandra says congratulations as well. I believe Sandra will want to reach out to you, Ange and Brad as
Yeah,
well, to
that's
share some
great.
resources and to maybe tag team the next one. Who knows?
Yeah.
So
I do want to say thank you to Kyle and your team. Everyone, Kyle didn't ask me to say this, but I'm going to anyways. Like we've really catapulted our results forward and really leveraged our effort and time by having mentorship from you and your team. You know, I don't even know where we would be right now. We definitely would not have our first property under contract. We definitely would have taken us a lot longer to figure all of this stuff out. And it's even the simple things where it's a simple question and we get an answer, and then that just catapults us forward with momentum. So I want to thank you. And then if anyone's honestly considering getting mentorship with Kyle and his team, like I absolutely recommend it. It's definitely worth it.
you're far too kind, Ange. It's an honor and privilege to be
I
there
only speak
holding your hand.
truth.
Thank you so much. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's our deal reveal for today. Congratulations, the first of many for Ange and Brad. So have yourselves all a most wonderful end of day, evening, weekend. And I do want to say that next Thursday, for those who are on here live, next Thursday our deal reveal will not be at 7, it'll be at 6. And it's going to be a special opportunity presentation for our upcoming event in Florida. Okay, so we're going to have a totally different presentation. It's going to be an hour long. We're going to show you the opportunities in the Midwest, just like what Ange and Brad are talking about here, a triplex for 100,000. What? And then we're going to talk also about some of Florida vacation home properties. Yes, more expensive, but can bring in 6-figure gross income per year. So over 100,000 per property of gross income. So different stroke for different folk. But join us next week at 6, same link, but it'll be at 6, or you'll be getting an email about it. So have a great evening. And as always, now for tomorrow. Take care, everyone.